Okay.
Ah, I
Okay.
was gonna. I was listening to an interview
Mm-hmm.
by Spielberg, and um he was yapping about how like he considers Disclosure Day the end of the trilogy of his Alien movies, and that like War of the Worlds is its own thing. Just curious.
Is there a, because I felt that this was very reminiscent of E.T.
Yeah, War of the Worlds is like pretty
Does it feel like
pretty
E.T.
different.
at all? Okay.
No, it's pretty different. And he says like, yeah, I don't consider that one of the Alien movies because it was a reaction to 9/11,
What?
which is true, just true, but it is also like, yeah, but there's aliens in it, so.
All right, well, let's get into it. Hey, this is Amateur Hour back at you with another episode. I'm your host, James, and I'm joined here by my co host, Joshua.
Hello.
And today we are talking about. Oh, dude, I labeled it The Mummy Returns. Shoot. We're talking about. Dude, I forget. It totally threw me off when I read The Mummy Returns.
Apparently, we're talking about The Mummy Returns
We're talking
again.
about the. Oh, shoot. We're going to restart. Or is it funny?
But I already opened my Red Bull.
Okay. We'll keep going. We're talking about Close Encounters of the Third Kind by Steven Spielberg, director Steven Spielberg. This was released in 1979, which was 3 years before E.T. Am I crazy? Am I getting this right?
Yes, because no, sorry, this was 77, same year as like a couple months after Star Wars. You were correct. E.T. came out in 1982 because it did better than The Thing and Blade Runner at the box office, which is ridiculous.
And then
But anyways,
so same year as Star Wars, and then this also was 2 years. Can I do math? 5, 6, 7. 2 years, 6, 7. 2 years after Jaws.
yes.
Give me your letterbox rating for Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh, I'm gonna give it the crazy 5 out of 5.
5 out of. Whoa, that's crazy. Josh with a
Told you,
5 out
told
of
you it's
5.
crazy. I'm a very big fan of this film.
It's a hard. Josh like rarely gives 5 out of 5s, so this is kind of crazy. I would give it probably 2.5 out of 5, maybe 3.
That is crazy.
That's just me, though. That's just me. Let's jump right into it. So basically, I actually forgot how the film starts out.
Okay, it starts in the old desert.
Oh,
And
right.
the Sonoran Desert.
I did like super quick. I really enjoyed how it was just black. At first, I thought that my audio wasn't working on whatever I was watching it on, and then boom, the music does like this hit, and then it's all brown with 2 lights from the car.
I do
Delicious.
suspect opening in black could be a 2001 reference. I don't have anything to back that up. I just know Spielberg was very inspired. And there's a lot of things thematically that I think are a little similar to that film as well. So I would not doubt it if that was potentially on Spielberg's mind.
What happens next? They're in the Sonoran Desert. Oh, they walk
find
up.
Flight 19, which is a group of group of planes,
World
Navy
War II
aircraft
pilots.
that disappeared in 1945. And they're like, man, that's kind of weird that they're here.
And they're
Which
like,
is true.
oh my gosh, they look brand new. Which I don't know about that. They don't look brand new to me, but whatever.
I think
all the
you would have
instrumentation
expected.
works.
ships or sorry, planes that have been gone for that long to show a bit more wear.
Right, right.
But it's so
Um,
strange how they ended up here because they disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle.
yes, and then they just dropped off in the Sonoran Desert. And then they asked the guy, and the guy's like, "The sun came down, and the sun was singing to me." I hear an echo, Josh. Are you fully plugged in?
Yes,
I don't think that's true.
it's true.
Hmm.
It's
All right,
true.
whatever. Okay, we'll move on. We'll move on.
What, do you still hear it?
No, it's better. Do I? Hello.
I don't know. Do you?
I kind of hear it.
Um. Oh, I don't know what you want me to do about that.
Unplug and plug back in, and I'll just be
Okay.
silent for a moment. Bear with us. I should probably edit this out. Oh no. He fully left. Well,
Hello.
boom, 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 boom. That's not how it goes. But
No, wait. Now I've messed it up.
dun 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 dun.
You confused me.
They start playing the Jeopardy theme. Do, do, do.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
it.
Sick. Okay. Then they're like, "Hey man, dude, what's going on?" "Oh, I saw the sun. It was singing to me." And those were the five little notes that the ship, the very bright ship, was giving out.
We do meet Lacombe,
Dude, I love the French guy.
played by Francois Truffaut.
I can kind of remember the French I took in high school, so it's interesting to just know what he's saying all the time. Almost.
Well, I know what he's saying too because of the because it gets interpreted.
Well, okay. Well,
So,
some
you're
of
not
some of the
special.
lines that he says aren't interpreted. So,
Well, whatever. Anyways, we can talk about Lacombe later. I really like him. I feel Keys and E.T. is some kind of recreation of him, but worse
well,
with new elements.
Claude was cooler because I never felt I don't know, I felt like he was important to the plot. You know,
Yes,
he
Lacombe.
actually moves the plot forward. Keys doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
But anyway, so what happens next, dude? I'm lost.
So then we have the UFO flying near Indianapolis. So we're kind of inside of this air traffic control station, listening to all of the pilots, and they nearly collide with the UFO. And I really like the scene because it's all inside the air tower, so we never cut to the planes or the pilots or whatever. And they nearly hit the aircraft, and then things keep going. And there's a really great part where they're just like, "Do you guys want to report this?" And they listen in as all the airplane pilots are like, "No, we don't want to deal with this." And so it's just kind of the two opening scenes are setting up that the aliens are already here and doing stuff. The first of which, with the planes, I think is more setting up their interest in picking up humans and human objects, while the second one is just showing the aliens are now kind of approaching the mainland United States.
I'm not sure if that scene is entirely necessary. I liked it, but I feel like it could have been cut. I don't remember how long the film was. It felt like it had good pacing to me.
It's about like 2 hours 17 minutes.
Is that about?
I feel like
about
it's
average?
something. Yeah, I feel like yeah, you could cut it. I don't think it's like actively harming the film, and I think the way it's filmed and the way it kind of teases the UFO
It was kind of like, oh,
is good.
I liked. I can't think of what I'm trying to say. It felt ominous, I guess. That scene.
Yeah, and that's something I really love in this film. How
The aliens are like, oh, they could be evil. I like that.
they are not just like, oh look at the
Look at this little
the
guy.
look at this little cute guy who's secretly evil, as we discussed. But look at this little cute guy, and he's so perfect and cool. But like, it's this is these are unknown entities, and the unknown is frightening, and it's something we really tap into in this film.
Who's the little boy? Barry.
Barry.
If Barry ended up on ET's ship, they'd have to wipe his memory.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speaking of Barry, he's kind of the next person we see. And he kind of wakes up in his home, and he's walking around, and
all
of
the
his
electrical
toys
appliances,
are
the
turning
toys,
on.
yeah,
Yep.
battery operated things turning on. Now,
Yeah.
I don't mean to be a stickler here, but nothing is consistent when things turn on and turn off. So in this scene, all the battery operated toys turn on when the alien ship arrives. But the TV also turns on, which is plugged into the, plugged into the electrical power of the house, which is attached to the electrical grid, which shortly after this scene, the entire electrical grid turns off. And when Roy, the main character played by Richard Dreyfuss, experiences the alien, shining the light on him, I thought he was going to get abducted. Didn't get abducted, though, so good for him, I guess. But the battery in his car turns off, and the battery in his flashlight turns off. So I don't know why it's turning on battery-operated things here, but turning off battery-operated things in another part of the film. So I think that's rather inconsistent, the effects of the alien craft.
This is a true statement.
Oh, I got him, dude. Let's go.
Well, yeah, it's true. However, I'm cool with it.
Okay, I've played that card a couple times, so yeah, I don't care.
See, well, yeah, because I do like it's not completely consistent, but the effects it create, I think, are pretty
They
good.
are really sick. I did think of when Roy's car is getting beamed, I guess, and the gravity starts to shift in his car. I thought that looked really sick.
We do have to consider, it is implied the aliens were just in the house as well, so maybe they just turned the toys on. How do you know?
Oh yeah, dude, I forgot about that. That was kind of weird. I felt.
Yeah, because then all the like food in the fridge is out, so it's as if they're kind of looking around.
Right.
And then
And you
Barry
think they
runs,
went and turned on the toys?
Maybe.
It felt to me as though, like, one of them was like, when I was watching it, I assumed that the aliens were controlling where it was going. It looked like it was kind of moving around as though something was controlling it.
I think they were just kind of going randomly.
I don't know, man. It looked like it was deliberate and not just random, because otherwise they'd just go in a straight line and hit a wall. But they like ended up upstairs in his mother's room. I don't know how that happened. I'm just saying, maybe not upstairs, but they did end up in the mom's room. So I'm just saying that, that doesn't really make any sense, Mr. Spielberg.
What if they just went in a straight line into her room?
That No, that's not how rooms work. First off,
Why not?
because rooms aren't sitting at
You can't walk in a
opposite
straight
ends of
line
the
in a room?
halls from each other. Name me one. Okay, well, I guess maybe if there was a hallway and then there were rooms on the side walls of the hallway, maybe that could make sense. But
You're saying like
I don't think
every
so.
single house in the entire world's built the same?
Yeah. All right, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. Fine, whatever.
I am just rage bait because if you watch the scene, there's no way they went in a straight line.
I fell for it. Anyway,
I got you.
you got me. Then the little boy Barry runs out.
There's a shot where it seems like he's in the house and he sees them because he smiles at them.
Oh, I did like this a lot in the film. There's a lot of reaction shots where we see the face of, whoever, and they're reacting to whatever they're seeing. But I don't like how often Steven Spielberg was blue balling us with it, because there were so many scenes where we saw the reaction shot, did not see what they were looking at.
Well, did you not think the payoff was worth it?
I actually thought that the ship at the end was so insanely large that it didn't make sense.
What do you mean?
I just think okay, so
because Barry
Devil's
doesn't Barry
Towers-
see the aliens here.
yeah, that's true. The payoff at the end was cool. You're right. Yeah, with the aliens.
Yeah, I meant seeing like the aliens.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, the aliens were cool. I liked the design of them. I think the effects were pretty well done. Killer CGI. Whoa.
For the ships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah. I will say I saw this in theaters a couple years ago. It still looks incredible. All the special effects, like the clouds moving, is so cool. How the ships just look and are designed are amazing.
There was a
Looks
movie that I watched. Man, I don't remember what it was, or if there was a scene in this one. But I remember I watched something recently where I saw some CGI and it totally took me out of the movie. I was like, "What the heck?"
It wasn't The Mummy Returns.
It was not in this. It was, but it wasn't. That's not the film I'm talking about. Man, dude, what was it? Oh well, doesn't matter, I guess.
You watch like one film every 3 weeks. How do you not remember?
Dude, man, the dementia's getting to me. I'm like Joe Biden.
But anyways,
Can I say that?
yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, the payoff was good for seeing the aliens at the end. Anyway, little Barry, he runs out of the house, and his mom chases after him. She's like, "Barry!" I thought it was funny that she just yelled Barry 3 times out of the window and didn't say anything else. She was like, "Barry! Barry!" And he responded and looked at her. And then she just didn't say anything else, and he just ran off.
I think he should have been able to figure out she's telling him not to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's a little kid, but he's not an idiot,
Barry, where are you going?
Barry.
And he's like, dude, I'm going to hang out with these aliens. And then they leave anyways.
So how does that work?
How does what work? How do aliens work?
No. Okay, so the aliens see little Barry in the house, and then he's like, "Oh, I'm going to go play with them." And then is it at that point that little Barry is hypnotized by the aliens like Jillian and Roy, or is it
I don't think it's quite. I think hypnotized is kind of the wrong word, but struck. You mean
compelled?
Yeah, struck with the psychic visions of the The
Devil's Tower.
Devil's Tower, and
Yeah.
Barry knows the song, which
Right.
Roy and Jillian don't hear.
Well, Jillian hears Barry
Oh,
playing it
she
and then
does. Yeah, yeah,
recognizes
yeah.
it. But yeah, Roy doesn't
But
hear
he
it.
knows the song and the tower.
Yeah.
Um, it's not totally explained,
And okay,
which
so Roy, he's not um abducted, but you know the ship beams him or whatever, and then he gets the visions.
yeah,
I assume that Jillian and Barry get the visions after, um, shortly after Barry is almost hit by the car. Uh,
yes,
when the ship show up, but there were
that's what
other
I'd
people
imagine.
there that saw the ship, so wouldn't they
Wouldn't other
also?
people have visions?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking?
Well, I mean, there were probably, I think there were three other people who saw the ship when it went by. The dude that saw, the dude that
Yes.
claimed he saw Bigfoot and his two children and maybe wife, I think were there. But they weren't at Devil's Tower.
No. That doesn't mean they didn't have visions. We know a lot of other people were.
Okay, so to assume
All
there
the
was
people
just
who.
the 12,
What was that?
I'm assuming that there was just the 12, but you're like just the 12 that went to Devil's Tower.
No, I would say there's because even Lacombe talks about this. He says like, think about how many people also had the visions, didn't like realize what it meant, or didn't decide to come out here.
Gotcha.
He talks about it with the like army general. Like
Right.
imagine all the other people who were invited and just didn't have like the will or the drive to come here as well.
Why were they invited? What is the point? I don't understand.
Well, I think a lot of this film, like a lot of what the aliens are doing and what they're up to is not explained. Um, I think you can kind of gather they have some interest in, humanity. They've been apparently picking up humans for a while. And it almost seems like, because at the end of the film, they do take Roy, it almost seems as if they're inviting people to come with them and just leave Earth completely, which would be my interpretation of what they're after. And you'd ask why, and I'd say, well, I don't know. And I like that for this kind of movie. Like, these are being above our intelligence and knowledge level, and what they're after we can't know and we can't figure out, especially since like we can't communicate with them. Um, but Roy's still willing to like kind of embrace that, despite the fact he doesn't fully understand. So that'd be my interpretation of what they're after. They're heading out and taking people.
What are they going to do with these people? Are they going to take them to E.T.'s lair, you think?
E.T.'s Island. We're doing this pit again. But anyways, I think the visions kind of come from just having an encounter with them, like a first encounter.
So, do you think by having that first encounter, like if they went, they were going to be taken? Or
Probably.
because Roy gets taken?
They probably get the option to go.
Gotcha. They were like, "Do you want to come with us?" But then the military guys were like, "Hey, we're going to send these people instead, plus Roy."
Yeah, but none of those guys left. They picked because when they had like the
Oh,
lineup
they
of all the
picked
people,
Roy
the
specifically.
aliens
Oh,
picked Roy.
gotcha. I see. Because
And
he.
even Lacombe, like he was talking about, like these people were invited. They belong here more than us, more than our people. The ones the aliens kind of invited should be the ones to go.
Right.
And he's the one who even like gets the clearance to let Roy be on the team.
I see. Well, let's backtrack a little bit. Let's talk
Yeah,
about
let's keep running through because our next section is where we meet Roy and his family.
and his family sucks. Roy sucks. I hate them all. The little Roy's kid is just making a whole bunch of racket the whole time, and I don't know if it was intentional, like the dysfunction in Roy's family was intentional to kind of create a atmosphere of uneasiness. Then they succeeded, because like I was like, what the heck, dude? The whole time there's all the noise going on, people talking over each other. I felt pretty stressed. So if that was intentional, great job, Steven Spielberg. If it wasn't intentional, either way, fuck you, Steven Spielberg.
Why?
It was just so noisy, you know?
Oh, okay.
I felt editing-wise, there was a lot of ups and downs in terms of volume, and I had to be turning my volume up and turning my volume down a lot, depending on if the family was on screen.
I did not have that problem.
Well, you weren't. Were you watching it at work?
No,
That might be your issue
Wait.
there.
actually, yeah.
Well, were you wearing headphones?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't. I don't have headphones, so maybe that's on me.
I think it's on you and not a problem of the film.
I just thought it was
First-
annoying. Yeah,
First person to
there's-
have this complaint in 40 years.
Yeah, it's too loud. The kids in there in the movie.
I do think they are meant to be annoying like that.
Okay. Do you
Kind
think
of
it's meant to be annoying
overwhelming.
to kind of give Roy an excuse for abandoning his family, or to make it overwhelming for the viewer?
I think overwhelming for the viewer. I don't think it's like necessarily an excuse, but it's kind of to show the difference between Roy and his family is how I would interpret it. Because we get this scene and all of his kids are like, dude, we want to go to putt-putt golf. And he's like, hey, kids, come on. We need to see Pinocchio. It's showing at the movies. And they're kind of loud and disruptive, and he's more, a little more quiet and focused on his autistic interest of model trains. So I think it just kind of shows, like, he's more whimsical and childlike, even more than his kids.
I felt that
Is
he
what
was
I would
rather
say.
incapable, is the vibe I got from this guy. Poor father.
That could also be a good interpretation. A lot of people have read into this about like connections with Spielberg's own parents. So it is possible that it is some sort of reflection about his own father. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Guess, yeah. Huh.
But I do like
Do you think
some other
maybe do the aliens kind of act as a father figure too? I don't know if I'm making crap up or if this is something that exists in there, but
I don't really see it for this one.
okay.
I only mildly see it for E.T. because that's what everyone says, even though I don't really think the film fits that vibe very well anyways.
Maybe not a father, maybe the parent or the aliens don't act as a father figure, but like, man, I don't know.
I do think 'cause
Roy
at
is
this
just
point-
so childlike that
Yeah.
he's being adopted, I guess.
Yeah, I think you could see it that way.
Anyway, but then he gets a call.
Power's going out and he gets sent out to go investigate.
And I have another problem with this power outage thing, right? So he's on the phone, which is
Yeah.
an electrical device, electrical appliance, and he's talking to the guy, and the dude he's on the phone with says, we're losing power all over. Have you guys lost power yet? And then right when he asks that, the power goes out. All the lights turn off. But the guy on the other end of the phone continues talking. What? Because Roy doesn't say anything, and he's like, Roy? Roy, are you there? Hello? Roy, has the power gone out yet? Come on, what do you mean?
Probably went out.
He was talking on the phone. You could hear him. You could hear him, Josh. It doesn't make any sense. If the power's gone in the house, why would the power not be gone on the phone?
This is true.
Oh, I got him again, ladies and gentlemen. Man, normally Josh is the one getting me. And then I have to sit there and be like, I don't care. I still like the movie. Josh is just going to do the same thing here, I assume.
Yeah, but also, we do have to consider, like, I feel like a lot of my problems are bigger deals, to be fair.
Yeah, if you're going to ignore the little problems in a movie, then the rest of the movie has to be pretty good.
And to be fair, I don't excuse it. Like, yeah, it's a problem.
I'll up my rating.
It's something that could be cleaned up.
To maybe, I'll do a 7 out of 10.
No.
Yeah, I just did. It's 7 out of 10.
No, you're gonna wait till we're done, and you're gonna give it a 10 once I convince you.
You're gonna give it a 10 once I give it. All right, whatever, fine.
But anyways, he starts driving out, and he has what we would call a close encounter of the first kind. Because while he's looking at a map, there's it's a pretty funny part because at first there's like a truck that passes it that like stops behind him and goes around him, and he kind of yells at it, and then more lights show up behind him, and instead of going around him, it just floats up because it's an alien ship behind him.
I didn't notice that.
Oh. What do you mean you didn't notice that?
I didn't notice that it went up. I really thought it went around again.
No, okay. No, it just floats up.
Very cool.
It's I don't know how you missed that.
Well, I was on the clock doing work simultaneously.
Because there's also there's the headlights at first, and then when it starts floating up, you see orange lights and then blue lights, and it's like, oh, that's not a car, and it's floating. What could it be? And it's the spaceship. And then
cool.
Suddenly there is all that gravitational anomalies you were talking about, where things start shaking. The lights in the car turn off, his flashlight turns off, and then a big bright light turns on and starts flashing down at Ray.
And it sunburns
blinding him. And it sunburns half his face.
I really like that a lot.
And this is a close encounter of the second kind.
What is a close encounter? What was the first close encounter with the first kind?
First kind is you sight a UFO.
Okay.
Second kind is physical evidence.
Oh, I see.
Third kind is contact, which we don't get to till the very end of the film.
Gotcha.
But yeah, I really love how the scene is shot, and it's very because it's at night, it's very spooky, and the lighting is really dramatic and cool. And all the nearby signage and such is shaking, and the car is shaking. Everything's just kind of getting turned inside out. And it's really intense and pretty frightening, especially for Roy. And I really like that. And it's once again why did the aliens do this? We don't know. They're just kind of hanging out and doing things, and I think it's neat. They're almost just kind of observing Roy. And then he looks out and he sees the ship moving. And there's a really funny part because the flashlight comes back on, and he just jumps. I really like that part.
And then the car turns on and he jumps again.
Yeah. Then eventually he's like, shoot, I gotta follow this spaceship. I gotta try and see what's going on. And then he almost hits Barry because Barry, the idiot, is in the middle of the road. Stupid
Give him a
kid.
break. He's just a little guy.
Stupid kid in the middle of the road. Does he know that's where cars drive?
Dude, he was distracted by the alien, dude. What can you say?
But anyways, Jillian grabs him out of the way, so Roy and Jillian meet, and then they're kind of standing there with a couple other people, including that crazy guy you were talking about, who says he's seen Bigfoot, and then the spaceships.
I like this crazy guy because it's kind of maybe a subversion of expectations. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, but you show up and he's like looking at the kid, and I'm like, dude, these guys are gonna murder the kid or something. I don't know. It kind of took my focus off of the aliens and put it on these guys for a second, and then the alien showed back up, and then my attention was back on the aliens.
Jeez, you're just being mean to this random guy.
This freak, dude. That's what I thought. I was like,
what if this
what's
freak's
freak
about to
doing
kill
here?
the kid?
That's what I thought. God forbid I speak
He's
my
just
mind.
standing there. He's
Being a
just sitting
freak,
there.
dude.
But yeah, then the spaceships just pass right by him, and they're all like, "That's crazy." And I
And then
really
the-
love Barry. Barry calls them toys.
Oh, interesting. Then the cops
It's a
show
very
up,
Fun reaction.
and then the cops are chasing the aliens. And then Roy gets back in his car and starts chasing the aliens. And then they... Oh, this is another thing. And maybe it is like they just decide, they can control what electrical appliances are activated. Maybe they're controlling it precisely. They're like, all right, we're going to shut this grid off, but we're going to make sure that guy's flashlight still works. And now we're going to turn his car off and then his flashlight and then blah, 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 whatever. Because they're approaching this toll station. And then as the aliens are approaching the toll station, the gates lift up and they fly through. Why they didn't just fly above it, I can't tell you.
Maybe they wanted
to
Roy
show
to
off.
follow.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah, they could have also just wanted to show. We don't really know. They're just flying around, causing havoc.
I think this was like, I think there were a lot of things in this movie actually that were, maybe not a lot, few things in this movie that were like, oh, that's cool, we'll have them do that for no reason.
Yeah, but like for me, I don't mind a lot of these as much because these are some kind of unknowable entity
Okay,
flying around.
interesting. So when it's an unknowable entity, you'll excuse it? Unless it's E.T., of course.
No, ET is like a knowable entity with goals and such, and then he'll just not act on those goals sometimes, and he'll just do random things that are like contrary to what he wants, and gain random abilities.
I think you're being a little inconsistent
Like
here.
the fact that these aliens can, mess with electrical components. It's pretty consistent throughout the movie.
Inconsistent when and how it works, but that's okay.
Well, consistent, they have the power.
Okay, all right. Fine. Anyway,
But then Roy's like, dude, my family's got to see this. So he runs home, and he gets his family, and he wakes them all up, and he gets his wife, and he's like, come on, guys, we're going to go look at the aliens. And they're all like, I think this is when his wife says,
They're like, "What?"
Yeah, and like one of his neighbors wakes up and watches. And I think this is when his wife says, aren't I taking this very well? Or something like that.
yeah, that was funny.
It's just a funny line. And they go back to where he saw the ships, and they're kind of sitting there, and nothing happens because nothing ever does. And yeah, that's kind of our introduction to Roy and the beginning of his journey with the aliens.
His descent into madness caused by the aliens.
That as well. And then we
Do you
get to
excuse
see-
these guys? Well, okay. So I guess your problem with E.T. is that everyone's like, oh, I love E.T., even though he's like grafted himself to the mind of little Tommy or whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah, and he's like forcing this child to do things.
Yeah. But you don't have a problem here because people aren't like, oh, I love the Close Encounters from the Third Kind alien. They're so cute.
Well,
This is why you don't have a problem.
no, because that'd be like,
Yeah. Because it's,
like, yeah, in a meta sense, I don't like how much people like E.T. when he kind of sucks. But I also think,
it's treated better in this film.
yeah, because in that film, it's like the film doesn't even seem to recognize that E.T.'s kind of a terrible person.
Yeah. Terrible
Um,
alien, you mean? He's not a person. People
yeah,
aren't
yeah.
aliens. They don't have human rights.
Aliens aren't people, you mean? But in this one, it's more like these creatures aren't treated quite as like, oh, he's such a cute little guy. They're more scary and unknowable. And also there's the fact that like they don't technically force Roy to do anything. And there's all those other people who saw the had the visions, saw the aliens that don't do anything. So it's like you could clearly just kind of ignore it if you chose to.
What happens next?
This is when they find the Cotopaxi, the SS Cotopaxi.
Oh, I liked
which
this
is
a
in the
lot.
middle of the Gobi Desert, and it's a really cool shot because the ship is super huge and big, and the people are super small in the foreground, and it's forced perspective.
Very well
and
done.
it just looks really good. And it's just like, man, how did this ship end up in the middle of the desert? And it's, like, we don't need this scene. This is one of the ones they added on the re-release of the film. But I don't think it hurts anything. And I do like seeing, like, oh man, they've taken a lot. Like, the aliens have been around and looked at a lot of things and taken things.
I thought that, I guess when I was watching this, I figured that the way the aliens worked was when they beamed something, they took the humans and then just, like,
Left the vessel.
yeah, but in like a time skip sort of thing. So what I thought was gonna happen with Roy in his car was that he would have turned his car back on. Because I've never seen this movie. I don't know anything about it. Was I thought he was gonna, when his car turned back on, he was gonna turn his car on, and then he would have like jumped forward or backward in time, which I thought could have been cool. If anybody wants to write a script, feel free to steal that idea. I don't know if that's been done.
There's an X-Files episode about that.
No, of course.
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
It probably is. Probably is. Anyway,
But no, I do think they just take the ship or the plane and then they just drop it off later.
But I thought they were gonna, they just hold on to it for a while.
Yeah.
We don't need this anymore. They're like hoarders.
They had,
They have like
They
a
have a
garage that they're supposed to park their ships in, but instead they just put a bunch of random crap.
dude, we don't
They
have
got,
any
like, a
more
gas
room to
station
park
in
our
there.
ships.
Yeah.
And that's when they get rid of the planes.
We
and the
need to
boat.
have a ship garage sale.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, then we cut back to Roy, and he's kind of like shaving his face, and the kids are messing with him, and he's scaring them and playing with them, and then he has the shaving cream in his hand, and he kind of starts
Scaring
shaking it.
him in a funny way. I feel like we
Yeah,
should.
yeah. Yeah, scaring
Specify.
them like play scaring with them for now. But he looks at the shaving cream in his hand, and like something strikes him, and he starts shaping it, and there's just something about it. And he's telling his wife, he's like, I'm pretty sure there's something about this. but he doesn't know what it is. And then she's talking about like, dude, you need to like put some spray tan on. We can't tell people about this. And Roy's like, no, I don't want to. I want to know what's going on. I don't want to just pretend nothing happened because he knows something happened. He has like the evidence of it on his face. And she's already like not as curious or whimsical about this as he is. And that's really one of the reasons I think he's the only one who makes it to the end. Because he does have that, he does possess that childlike wonder in a sense, where she's like already like, oh, we don't want anyone to think we're crazy. But he wants to know the truth and what's going on. And then we cut back to Lacombe and his group, and in India, a
I
bunch
also
of
thought
people,
this scene was too loud.
that's a youth problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of people kind of apparently encountered the UFO.
But the really, really big one, the mothership,
Yeah,
is what I understood
and,
at the end. Okay.
and they're all singing the tone, which is do 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 do.
I
They're
don't
all
think
kind of
I think
chanting
you're
it.
incorrect in your
I'm trying my best.
Josh is
Well,
tone deaf.
Why don't you try?
Not
No, go ahead.
Nope.
This is your time to shine.
Dun, 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 dun. I think that was pretty good, actually.
You know, there's 5 tones.
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
I only heard 4 there, so sorry, buddy.
I'll learn-
Incorrect.
I'm gonna learn how to play it on guitar just for you. Dun, 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 dun.
Do, 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 do.
Dun, dun. Whatever. I lost it.
Anyway.
I had it and I lost it.
Anyways, so they're kind of all chanting it, and Lacombe's like, where'd the sound come from? And they all point up to the sky. And he's like, man, that's crazy. And then we move on. We're kind of just seeing more hints of contact. And then Lacombe uses this information, and he has a big meeting with a bunch of kind of world leaders and such, and talking about how he's kind of converting this tone to hand signals. So he's basically kind of trying to decipher the meaning of this.
How did he get those hand signals, and how did the aliens know the hand signals at the end of the film?
The hand signals are like general hand signals. It's like a universal hand signal language.
How is it universal for aliens, though? I don't feel like that's a little bit of a reach, in my opinion.
Okay. It is based off musical sounds. So he's converting them to the musical sounds, or he's converting the musical sounds to the hand signals. It's not like explained that the aliens know the hand signals, but if they're using these specific tones to try to communicate with humanity, because essentially what they're doing is like kind of what we do with monkeys and trying to like teach them language. They're trying to teach us a way to communicate with them in a way we'll both understand. And they're using something universal, which is language. And I don't think it's, or sorry, music. And I like just basic tones. And I don't think it's completely unreasonable that they would just like look into it. Like,
Okay.
and figure it out.
But, I mean, what does the tone mean?
We don't know.
Okay, so the difference between it just doesn't really make sense. This isn't a real big problem with the movie. I guess this is like more of a lore problem, question mark. Um, when we as humans teach sign language to apes, we show them a banana, and then we show them a hand signal, and then we do that over and over again until they associate the hand signal with banana. We
True.
don't just show them a bunch of hand signals and then they do them back because they don't know what that means. And I guess it's different because we're smarter than an ape. I think it would have been maybe a little cooler if there was some thing that they did and then did the sound so that they associated an action or an object with that sound.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, there is no.
And I guess the movie works without this. I just would have appreciated it. I think it would have been neat.
Yeah, like personally, like I don't have a problem with us totally like not understanding. It almost seems like the main five tones is more of like an expression of
It's
you
5
could
tones?
say like yeah.
Oh, it just means fucking hello. It's
Well,
gotta, right? Hello. Whatever. It just means hello. God damn it.
No, it doesn't.
What do you think it means? I think it probably means hello.
Okay, if it was it's just hello, first off, why would they first give the tone to Indians who, who wouldn't speak English? Second
Okay.
off, the notes are different. All five of the notes are different.
Oh,
so
shit.
There can't be two L's.
Dang it. Ah, shucks.
But I would say it's more of an emotional like I would imagine it is some sort of greeting. And the way it's played
that's really what I meant. I'm not an idiot. Maybe a little bit.
No, I think you did mean
but I
literal
mean maybe
hello.
not literal hello, but like whatever, kill yourself.
Like I wasn't gonna say like a greeting, but more of a like expression of like I guess you could say like an expression of peace. Because
Gotcha.
Lacombe returns the notes to them at
In
the
Close
end.
Encounters of the Third Kind, you know what? I'm reading the AI,
you on an
the
AI overview?
Yeah, let me go
Okay,
somewhere
buddy.
else.
I don't have
Continue,
a problem
sorry.
with not knowing exactly what the tones mean. And I can see why some people wouldn't like that and why they'd want to know. But for me personally, I do like the idea that like these beings are of a higher intelligence and trying to get us to communicate um from kind of a higher vantage point using more basic signals um and like it might we don't even fully understand what they mean, but we understand their sentiment by the end. That's kind of what I gain from it.
Josh, let it be known that the fourth tone is still the same key as the third tone. It's just an octave lower.
Hello.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right, it is the same key. but
Yes!
It's different. It sounds different. It's not the same
It
sound.
means hello. I got it.
Fine. All right. Well, you've deciphered what they mean.
I did it. It only took
Good job.
it only took 50 years.
Good job. So anyway, where are we? Oh, Roy he's back out at night, and this is kind of hanging. He's back out at night hanging with Jillian, and this is kind of the start of his obsession, you could say. And he sees Barry is already constructing like a little sculpture of Devil's Tower in the dirt. Um, and so like one of I've kind of already been hinting at it, but I feel like the fact that Roy and Barry are more like childlike and have that sense of wonder about things in the world, especially like Pinocchio's kind of a big thing in this movie. We hear the like "When You Wish Upon a Star" theme at the very end of the film as well. I think because
And he calls him
they are
Mr.
more,
Cricket.
huh?
He calls Roy's called Mr. Cricket a lot.
Yeah, and so I think because of their like childlike nature, they're the ones who are more able to communicate and understand these other beings because they're not as caught up on the objective facts and truth and such like that. They're filled with more wonder than fear. So I think that's very interesting, and I'll talk more about more of my interpretation of that later. But then the aliens kind of broadcast a bunch of numbers, and the people are like, "Man, these don't correlate with the music at all. Have we hit a dead end?" And the guy who's been translating the whole movie, because this is something important too. Like we really see throughout the film, like language barriers. We get like French to English and English to like
Oh,
Mexican
yeah.
in the beginning of the film. So that's another reason that like all of these people of different like ethnicities and races are kind of brought together by this one unifying musical tone, where otherwise they wouldn't understand it or the aliens. So it's kind of interesting that the aliens are able to bring people together in that way.
That is really
But
cool.
yeah. But the guy who's been translating was a cartographer, and he's like, "Yeah, dude, these are just coordinates, bro. Ain't that hard to figure out?" Which is fun. And they bring out like this huge globe.
Crazy that none of those military guys in that room, were able to figure that out before Mr. Cartographer. But whatever.
Well, I do think it's more like they're stuck on the musical signals,
I see.
and this is his niche special interest. So he gets his little
Big
moment.
autistic movie here.
Oh yeah, that's why I like it. And then the next sequence is the sequence of the film. It's one of my favorites. And so we see Barry. He's playing the tones on his xylophones. Meanwhile, Jillian is only just now drawing the Devil's Tower.
Just now, she's drawn like 10 of them.
That's true. She is. Yeah, you are correct. My bad. But he's kind of already moved on onto the music, which I think is kind of funny. Um, again, contributing to my interpretation of like the childlike wonder that helps you understand these aliens more. But then she kind of steps outside, and we get a really cool shot of the clouds just moving towards them.
Dude, every time I see that, I think of that one interview that's just talking about how clouds used to be made, where they got just water and then they squirt milk into the water or whatever.
Yeah, it's just water in a tank.
Yeah,
But
cool
man,
stuff, dude.
does it look incredible?
It really does.
They use it a couple times during this film, and at the end of it too, the final sequence, and it's just like seeing it is like I understand how they did it because I've seen the interviews where they explain it, but it's still like, man, how did they do this? When you see it, and so the ship's coming, and Jillian's pretty afraid, so she runs in and kind of barricades the door. And this is one of the things I was talking about, where this film as opposed to like E.T., this film understands how frightening the aliens are and how frightening the unknown can be, especially to Jillian, who doesn't understand it like Barry does. Um, and we basically just switched to a horror scene for like 3 minutes
Goated scene.
of,
Favorite
of a
scene in the movie.
child abduction. And it is so well shot, like, because at first Jillian's barricading the doors, and because Barry's like, dude, these are my pals, and I'm gonna get to see him again. He just goes and opens the front door, and we see this amazing shot of him in the doorway, and just the brilliant orange light shining in, and it looks incredible. It looks great. And it's like, and then we hear like the aliens on the roof, and and then man, it's just like actually kind of scary scene of this basically home invasion in the middle of our
Way
our
significantly better than the E.T. home
our
invasion.
movie. Oh yeah, and like she's reaching in to kind of close the like chimney, and there's a shot like a POV shot of the aliens coming down the chimney, and there's lights flashing all around, and there's one part where they're trying to, because the chimney's closed, they're trying to get in from the vents under the floor, and they're unscrewing the screws from underneath, and there's smoke coming up, and the whole scene is just shot so well, and eventually like you're basically left, because when the scene starts the house is still bright, um, and by the end it's just basically silhouettes of these people with all the crazy alien lights outside. And then Barry just kind of heads out the dog door, and Jillian's trying to grab him. And it is like her acting's really good because
She's
she's like
crying. Josh is over
crying
here
and
laughing it up.
screaming. She's crying and screaming, trying to get Barry, and Barry's just heading out. It is kind of funny, but like it's funny looking back. But in the moment, even though I've seen the film and I know like the aliens aren't meant to be an evil force, it is still just like, man, this is super super frightening. Um, and that's something I think this film does, super well and a lot better than a lot of other films where it balances the awe as well as how scary this can be. And it's something, like Spielberg does pretty well, especially in Jurassic Park comes to mind, where we can be equally frightened of and in awe of these other creatures. And something also like I can kind of see in 2001 A Space Odyssey as well, where the aliens we never see in the monoliths are incredibly frightening as much as they are awe-inducing. And it's really a balance I don't think Spielberg reaches at all in E.T. or War of the World. And it really kind of just adds a deeper emotional level to this film. Anyways, then there's a big press conference with the Air Force that Roy's pulling up to because he's still trying to figure out what's going on. And he sees Jillian, and nobody really believes her that Barry was just abducted. And this is where we get the crazy guy talking about Bigfoot.
Love this dude.
And this is, we also hear like the military guy say like, man, I wish I had an encounter like you guys, but there's no photographs, there's no evidence, and he's not a believer, even though he's saying he wishes he was. And this is again something you kind of see reflected in Keys later on in E.T. And it's something I'll talk about more too with my interpretation of the film. But now they know that Devil's Tower is where the aliens are going because they have the coordinates, and they're like, dude, we need to come up with something frightening to make sure everybody evacuates this area so nobody sees this. And so the government's plan is just kind of cover up the truth, um, as they do. Any thoughts on this, James?
No, I don't think so.
And then we get the dinner scene.
Oh,
Um,
dude.
and Roy, you're really seeing his obsession more and more. I don't think we mentioned this either. Like, he lost his job because after he saw the aliens, he just didn't
Didn't go
report
to
to
work.
his superiors or talk to them at all. So they were mad at him, and he wouldn't go to the phone, and they just fired him.
And I also thought it had to do a little bit with like his off behavior, and I think there was my interpretation was that there was a little bit of fear in the town of like, all right, this guy maybe saw an alien, maybe had an encounter. He's crazy. Don't listen to him. Don't interact with him. Because they called his wife, and she just was like, "What? What's going on?" And I believe this was around the shaving cream scene.
It was a little bit. It was a bit earlier. Did you just
Uh,
text me?
what?
Did you just text me?
I texted the group chat.
Wow, very unprofessional, buddy.
you were like, do you have any thoughts? No. It's because I was sending it. It's because I
Yeah,
was
figure that out.
distracted.
Jeez, I have to carry this show.
But they call up his wife, and she's like, "Wait, what's going on? Like, what?" And she walks over, and she's like, Roy walks over, and says, "What's going on?" And his wife says, "You just got fired. They didn't even want to talk to you." And my interpretation of that was, because of he's going crazy.
Yeah, Yeah, that's a good reading. But yeah, so it is like he just doesn't have. He's not going to work. He's just bumming around, trying to trying to figure out what these aliens are up to. And so then the dinner scene's kind of this culmination a bit, because he's there playing
It
with
was
his
so
food.
funny, bro. Just piling mashed potatoes.
He's trying to build the Devil's Tower image in his head,
And
and his whole family's just watching him.
I don't know why he has such a hard time building the Devil's Tower image.
Why will
When what's her face? Jillian was just able to paint it off the jump.
I'll talk about this a bit more
Okay.
when we get to the end.
Right, right.
There's also a funny part where his daughter's like, "There's a fly in my food," which is just funny. There's a lot of like just humor sprinkled throughout. Um, anyways, he just kind of breaks down and starts crying, and he's like, "Something's wrong with me. I don't know what it is." And it is like pretty sad actually, and his family's just watching him, and there's not much they can do because they don't understand it like he does. They can't understand this obsession. And then we see he's kind of in the next scene, he's kind of replaced his model trains with a sculpture of it. So it's kind of become his main interest, main focus, replaced all the other things, and he's very frustrated that he can't build it, he can't make it exactly like what he sees in his head. And he goes outside, and he's kind of just mad, and then he goes into the shower, and I really like the scene because his wife can like hear him in there. It's the middle of the night. She gets up and like has to pry the door open. He's just in there in his clothes, just kind of crying because it's affected him in such a strange negative way where all he can really think about is trying to perfect this. And then his kids come in, and like I don't know what it is about this, but I really love how his son's yelling at him, like calling him like a crybaby. It's really just like something you wouldn't expect. Um, but it is like a reaction that would make sense in the scenario. Because Roy's kind of just lost it and he's crashing out. But eventually he gets out of the shower and he's like trying to apologize and make amends. And eventually his wife sends the kids out of the room, sends them to bed, especially because they're once again yelling and just being, annoying. And then she locks herself in the bathroom and he goes and he sleeps with his little monument in on his tracks. And so we get that family argument, and then once he wakes up, he goes and he
I
takes
think
down
it's
all his.
I think it's kind of sad that I don't know in the scene where he's sitting, crying in the shower, his wife is like pleading with him, and I think that in that scene you can tell that she, in my opinion, I think it shows that she loves him and cares about him and is really worried about him.
Yeah,
Which makes me hate Roy a lot more later in the film.
yeah.
I think
I can see
Roy
why.
is not a good protagonist. Like he's very very flawed, and I don't think that there is really a redemption for him.
Nope, nope. He's just like that. And I'll talk about kind of my interpretation more later again. But I can see that. Um, and at this point, he goes and he starts taking down all the UFO stuff, and
He's trying to
he's
fix
like,
it.
he's like, "Sorry, wife." I can't remember her name.
Ronnie.
Ronnie. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, he's like, "I'm sorry, Ronnie. I'm all good now. Hey, kids, we're all good." And he's just kind of yelling through the house, trying to fix things, and he wants to like make everything better. We see a little Pinocchio statue he has, and then he takes the top off of his mountain he's constructed, and he realizes like this is closer to my vision now than ever. And then we cut to a shot in the children's room because Ronnie ended up sleeping in there, and outside the window, he's just tearing up the plants and such. And she's like, Roy, what are you doing? She runs out, and she's like, the plants are fine there. We can move them later if you want. What are you doing? And he's just picking up plants, and I really love like his son starts picking up dirt also and like throwing it in, and he's like, like this, Dad, like this. Um, he's
And
trying to help
it's
while
so
Roy's
sad, dude.
throwing bricks into the sink in the house.
It's so
And
sad because I in that scene again, I feel like his wife is just trying to understand what's going on, and she's trying to, come to a what's it called? Middle ground. Why can't I think of the word
Yeah,
right now?
she's
She's trying to,
trying to help.
yeah, compromise, right? Oh, like she's like, I don't know why he's moving the plants, but let's not do that now. We can move them later. And then when his son is like this, Dad, like copying what his dad's doing. I think that just shows that, as bad as a father he is, his family still loves him, you know? And going back to the dinner scene, there's this one part where he's like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm still Dad.
Yeah.
Devastating. Yeah. Killed me. All right, it's an 8 out of 10 now. Dang it.
Yeah. But yeah, Ronnie's looking pretty like distraught. And he goes and he's like taking chicken wire from his neighbor's yard, and she's like, "Oh, that's illegal. You can't take that."
I'll
And he's
pay
like,
for
"I'll
it.
pay for it. I'll pay for it." And she's like, "No." And then he like starts walking towards her, and because he looks, insane, she's like, "Whoa, you can have it. You can have it." And there's another part where like the garbage guys come to take their trash, and Roy tries to like wrestle the trash can from their grasp, and he gets it and he just dumps half of it out and walks off. And the trash guy's just standing there like,
That was pretty funny.
What the heck, bro? And so he's throwing bricks in, he's throwing chicken wire in, he's throwing plants in. Eventually, Ronnie gets the kids, and she's like, "All right, he lost it. Get in the car." And he's like, "Oh, where are we going? Where are we going?" And she's like, "I'm going to my sister's." And this is probably my favorite line in the whole film because he says, "That's crazy. You're not even dressed." And
And he's wearing like a bathrobe.
he's in his bathrobe, like actually crazy. And she looks at him for a second and she goes, "What?" And it's just like, I really love that line. It's really funny. And that's kind of the last straw, and she just takes off. And then
Heart-wrenching
he
stuff
walks
happening
in.
on screen, and Josh is laughing.
He walks in. Oh no, that was an intentionally funny line. Okay. Oh yeah, and then he kind of jumps on the car, and she keeps going, and he rolls off, and it's like clearly such a crazy thing that happened. And then he stands up and he walks to his house like nothing happened. And he looks at one of his neighbors and he goes, "Morning," as if they're not all standing outside witnessing how insane he is. It's just it's one of those like really funny moments they just put in throughout the film. But yeah, it's both a great scene for like showing how far he's gone to make his vision come true, that it's pushed away his family. And it also has those funny lines. And then I think he climbs in the window to get inside. And then we cut away. Some time has clearly passed. And he basically has the model done. And at this point, he's like, "Well, I should probably call my wife." So he's calling her. And he's like trying to talk to her about what's going on and try to win her back. And we see in the foreground the Devil's Tower on the TV because the government has created this cover story to get rid of everyone from the area, and it's kind of like self-fulfilling prophecy type of thing. Like, if they didn't make it a big deal, Roy wouldn't have realized what it was, which is kind of just an interesting moment. But it's funny how he's talking on the phone and he keeps walking near the TV, and they're talking about this ecological disaster, and we see the Devil's Tower just for like a split second at first, and then it cuts and he's still talking on the phone, and then eventually, right as the phone call ends, on the TV they cut back to the Devil's Tower, like a full view of it. And it's an interesting moment because it's almost as if like he's begging her to talk in person and come back, and then she hangs up on him, and it's almost as if he didn't see the TV right at this moment. Like, he probably wouldn't have gone to Devil's Tower, and things would have ended up like they did. So it's an interesting moment, but he does see it, and now he makes that connection. Like, this is what's been in my mind. Now I know. And he basically has like the perfect model of it. And meanwhile, Jillian also realizes, and he begins his trek to Devil's Tower. And at this point, like, we never see the family again, which is sad. It is very tragic. Like, he was too obsessed. He pushed them out, but this is what he truly desires in this moment, is to understand all this.
I think that I don't think his family is lost at this point. You know, if he went and saw the ship and was like, "Okay, cool, let me go back to my family," there would be a lot, that he'd have to reconcile. But at least he still has his family.
That's true. But no, he's kind of done with them.
And his wife doesn't have a job. So he just left them to fend for themselves. I genuinely think that Ronnie just took the kids and was like, we got to get away for a little bit. Roy has to calm down and get his senses together, and then everything will be okay. I don't think it was a forever thing, Ronnie leaving. I think she was just like, I need to protect my children.
Yeah. But once we get to the end, like, it's clear. I mean, once we get to the end,
I'm abandoning my family.
I've abandoned my child. And so yeah, he does just abandon his family and go to space. Which is, like, it's clearly not a happy thing for them. But eventually he's heading over to Devil's Tower, and it's funny, there's a bunch of peddlers like, here, get your gas mask, get your birds to make sure you're not inhaling this toxic air, these toxic chemicals. And he meets up with Jillian, and they're driving through, and they're like, this can't be real, right? And then they see a bunch of like dead animals on the side of the road. What they think are dead animals. We find out later the government just kind of put them to sleep. But they see the dead animals.
How did they do that? Just not really important to our conversation, but I was just curious.
They mention it. It's the same like
the same gas that they use on the people
later in the film.
Yeah. Okay, I got it.
But yeah, they see the animals, and they kind of look at each other, and Jillian's like, "You don't think it could be real, could you?" And Roy's like, "Nah, this is a put on." And then they look at each other, and they just put their masks on anyways. And they're driving through, making their way to Devil's Tower, and eventually they get caught by the government, who pick them up, and they're like, "Dude, my birds aren't dead," because they bought the pair of birds, and they're like, "Our birds are alive. This air's not bad." And then we kind of don't see the government grab the birds, but when they take them out of the car, they look dead. And so we know it's the government messing with them, but it almost puts that doubt back into Ray's mind. And like, oh, maybe their story is real. And this is when Lacombe meets Roy at this point. And they have a conversation, and they're asking him like, "Oh, have you seen these drawings? Have you seen these? Why are you here? What brought you here?" And he keeps asking, "Who are you people?" And he just doesn't answer their questions.
Who are you people?
The end of the scene, he says it in like, his delivery is just really funny. Like, because they ask, "Have you had a close encounter with anything unusual?" And I can't replicate how he says it, but I'd really like Richard Dreyfuss's performance in this film, and that's a really funny delivery he has there. But yeah, and he's like, "I want to speak to someone in charge," and talk to someone in charge, and they're like, "Yeah, it's Lacombe. This is kind of it." And Roy's trying to figure out, like, what did I see? What is it that's here? He wants answers as much as they want answers. And eventually they just leave, because neither of them are getting what they want, because Lacombe's keeping up the cover story. And it kind of seems like that's not his choice, but the choice of the government, because in the next scene he's talking to the main army commander, and he's like, "Look, we've got 12 people who have had these visions, have drawn these pictures, and have made their way all the way out here because it means something to them." And the army guy just doesn't really care. And Lacombe wants him to stay because he's like, he wants to understand the aliens. He wants to understand why these people were brought here. And the army guy just he don't care. And so the army's gonna send them out by plane, and by helicopter. And Roy's kind of looking around. He sees Jillian in the plane as well. He's looking at all these people who've had this shared vision, shared experience. And he decides to take off his gas mask, which I think is a really neat scene because we see the fear on all of their faces. Um, like they all kind of believe what's going on. They've seen the animals, but he's in a way has to take a leap of faith here and trust what he believes is true, which is that there is something going on that's being covered up, and he needs to know what it is. And he takes the leap of faith and takes his mask off. And him, Jillian, and another guy get off the helicopter and start running off to get to this mountain. And I think something really interesting. Lacombe sees it in the window, and he ain't a narc. Because this is the scene where he's saying, these people belong here more than us. He respects their encounter and the fact that they're the ones wanted here more than even he is. And I just really like that. Adds more to his character. And eventually they start heading towards Devil's Tower. And we get a really couple neat shots where the main characters are kind of just in awe of it, which is like, it's really great that they added it because this is something they've almost been haunted by the entire film, and now they're here. And so we pay a lot of proper respect to that fact. And then the government's like, well, let's just use some nerve gas, or let's use some gas and just get rid of them, basically, by putting them to sleep. And so they're with a third guy whose name escapes me, trying to climb up the tower. And this is where we get Larry Butler is his name. That's it. And we get some dialogue about
That's his
how,
character's name, Larry Butler.
yeah, Larry Butler, the third guy. But they're trying to talk about like, oh, we need to get up by this ravine and such. And Roy is like, no, no, no. If you go up there, there's a 300-foot drop down. And so without Roy, they would not have gotten up the mountain, which is really interesting and kind of ties into my main interpretation of the film, which is about like a lot of people have read it this way, but Roy trying to sculpt this is about an artist's like obsession with perfection, right? Just throughout the film, like he has these visions, he has these drawings, but he's not content with just having them look similar. He wants exactly what's in his mind created. And so that's what leads him to make the sculpture, which is accurate enough that he knows the layout in a way that nobody else does. And so he's the only person who could actually have made it. And it's because of his obsession with creating this perfect like work of art, which a lot of people, including myself, read as like commentary on filmmaking. And so like, yeah, Jillian has a drawing of it. She even says like, man, I didn't even know that was there. And he says, next time try sculpting. Like their visions, they had the same visions, they had the same information, but they didn't have the drive to complete this work of art in the way Roy does. And he did. And that's what allows him to actually get to the aliens. Because if he didn't build it just the way he did, he wouldn't have made it to the top. And he wouldn't have seen it. And so I think the film is, in a sense, like commentary on filmmaking itself and on making perfect art and being obsessed with making exactly what you see in your mind. And in a way, like, you only reach the transcendence that Roy reaches at the end of the film with meeting the aliens and going up into the stars because he was obsessed with art and with creating the perfect work of art. And it is because like my reading of 2001: A Space Odyssey is similar, where the monolith represents film itself, and how when we engage with film, it can help transform and change us. And I think whether consciously or not, like Spielberg is going for a very similar thing here with how like an artist can make something that changes them and make something complete, and maybe even to create such a perfect work like that, um like you do have to sacrifice your job, maybe even your family, and whether or not you view that as a good thing, like that is something the film seems to be going for. What's very interesting is Spielberg has said if he made the movie today, like he wouldn't have had Roy leave his family. Um, and he says like, well, I've had a family now since making the film. He couldn't imagine like leaving his children for something like that.
You know
But I
what,
do think it's
Mr.
something.
Spielberg? I don't have a family, and I couldn't imagine doing that either. I think, what was Steven Spielberg doing?
But I
What?
think like I could see an artist. I mean, there's been many who cannot hold down a family, hold down a relationship, and often push people away for their obsession with perfecting their craft and perfecting their art. And I see like how Roy can be read as that. Yeah, that's a lot of my thoughts. If it pleases you.
I think you're
Anyways,
looking way too much into this.
how? Why? Let's examine
I
further.
think that he has no knowledge of. I mean, I guess if he's going off the vision and the vision is perfect, then I guess he can make a perfect recreation of Devil's Tower and then know what Devil's Tower is. But that's only if the vision is absolutely perfect.
Why wouldn't it be?
I guess I don't know.
The aliens just showed him the perfect Devil's Tower.
Yeah. By the way, they didn't, because the top of Devil's Tower doesn't look like that, but whatever.
Doesn't look like what?
It doesn't look like how it does in the movie. There's not a bowl on top.
What do you mean?
Have you seen the top of Devil's Tower? It doesn't
No,
look like that in real life.
I've never been there.
Devil's Tower is a real thing.
I didn't know that.
Did you really not know that?
No, I did. No, I just said I know that.
Oh, okay.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Yeah, but the top, I'm just saying the top doesn't, I'm just nitpicking. The top doesn't look like that. The top doesn't look like how it does in the movie. But then I started going into like, I started looking up how it was formed, because it is crazy to look at. Anyway, but that's unimportant. I started like...
It looks accurate to me, but whatever. Looking at pictures here. Anyways. Yeah, that's a lot of my interpretation of the filmmaking aspects of this film. And I do think it's a valid reading, especially since, like, we see at the beginning, like, Roy has this, not obsession, but interest in, like, the Ten Commandments or Pinocchio. Like, he is interested in
What do you mean the
film.
Ten Commandments? Did I miss that?
Yeah,
the
his
film,
children.
The Ten Commandments?
Yeah, his children are like, "Can we finish the Ten Commandments?" And he's like, "Yes," because he's like started to show it to him.
Oh, right, and then it's like, oh, it's
And
3 hours to finish
Ronnie's
it.
like, "You ain't got time for that, bro." But I think like you can easily read it as a filmmaking or an artistic metaphor, and I do think that's a lot of what's intended with how Barry or Roy's whimsy allows him allows them to understand the aliens, um, because like they would have a more creative sense. Like I wouldn't obviously I'm not trying to like filmmaking's not childish, but there's a creativity and whimsical nature of it that is, I would say, more accessible um, when you are a child and childlike. And then we can even look at like the army generals, and it's almost if, as if like the government people, they want to, they feel to me kind of like a commentary on like producers and studios. Like they're interested in the final product. They're interested in seeing the big light show, but they don't care about the creative vision at all. And I think that's one way you can interpret them. Whereas Lacombe is someone who is interested, but doesn't feel like he can actually be a creative and is almost tragic in the sense that he has that interest, but not the drive or the vision that Roy has. Put things together like he did. Any more thoughts?
No, I don't think so.
I think as somebody who likes writing and you know sometimes becoming like a perfectionist in some ways with that, or like obsessive in some ways with that, like there's some things I just like it gets stuck in my head and I'm thinking about it all the time, or some things like I'll write over and over and over and over. um like I can really see and relate to what I interpret as the themes of filmmaking and trying to create the perfect work of art in this.
I'm trying to learn, uh, I guess, how to read into films in that kind of way. I have a rather hard time doing it, reading into, because I mean, I don't know if you read that before, or if you got that yourself, but I never in a million years would I've analyzed him painstakingly creating the tower, the Devil's Tower, and then because he did that, knowing the Devil's Tower like the back of his hand at the end of the film, I would not have interpreted that as, um, you know, someone paint as like creating the art of film. But I see it now, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like the first person or anything to see the film that way. I don't know if I can't remember because the first time I watched it was a while ago. I can't remember if like I did read about what it meant first or kind of figured some of it out, but it is a way I know a lot of people relate to and view the film. And I think you can definitely see why.
What happens next in the film?
Um, Mr. Larry Butler gets gassed out and falls asleep because he's not locked in. And Roy makes it to the Roy makes it to the top with Jillian, and it's not actually the top; it's kind of like a middle ridge, but it's where they needed to be, and they can then see where the army has set up base, and they've set up like landing strips and everything for the aliens to show up, and then the next like 30 minutes of this film is really really interesting sequence where the aliens are kind of showing up and trying to communicate. Spielberg said this was like the most difficult thing to edit in his career, which I can see. And man, somehow we haven't talked about it, but Williams' score throughout the rest of this film is so good. Um, this is, it's hard to say. It's like one of his best soundtracks because he has so many good ones, but it is really good in this, especially the way he kind of constructs the almost almost dialogue is what it feels like between the aliens and the humans with the music. But first the like small three ships show up and they play some stuff and then they head out and everyone kind of cheers, but it almost seems like Roy and Lacombe. No, that's not it. Like there's more coming. And then we get another one of the crazy cloud shots and the lights start flashing in the sky and some more ships come and one flies like at 5 feet above them, just hanging out. And Roy's talking to Jillian. He's like, I cannot stay here watching from below. Like I have to get down there and see it for myself. We did not come all this way just to watch from the sidelines. And Jillian understands and kind of just is like, yeah, I get it. You can just leave me because she's more here for her son. She's not as like obsessed about meeting the aliens and fully knowing what it means as he is. And so he heads down and he's just chilling with them. And the other ships go back and things get quiet again for a second. And then we see the mothership. And it flies over Devil's Tower and it's way bigger. And it's a really neat design by Christopher McQuarrie and not him, Ralph McQuarrie. Wrong guy. Not Christopher McQuarrie. Man, do you know who Ralph McQuarrie is? James? James?
Oh yeah, I do.
Am I by myself?
Yeah. I don't like
No.
Ralph McQuarrie.
No, Ralph.
Yeah.
No,
Ralph.
Christopher McQuarrie is the Mission Impossible guy.
Oh, okay. Well, Ralph McQuarrie has something to do with Star Wars, right? I remember
Yes.
reading
Yes, he
something
did the concept art.
about him in the Origami Yoda books.
Yeah, because he's goated. He did really, really cool concept art for the Star Wars movies. Which are really cool to go back and look at. But he designed the ship, and I love how it looks. It's almost like it has a cityscape on it. Like it looks like skyscrapers on it when the ship kind of.
Wait. This is unrelated, but in the Origami Yoda books, the kids go to Ralph McQuarrie Middle School.
Oh,
Yeah. Anyway,
that makes sense. Yeah, it looks like there's cities just on the ship, which is just.
the ship does look really, really good.
It's hard to even describe. It's just like I love how alien and different the design is, and it's cool how all the small ships, they're all different, and you even have like just random red orbs flying around, and it's just not something you would imagine. I think one of the ships is like as a joke, like a sneaker or something. I can't remember exactly what. But they just threw lights on an already existing object. But you can like look at the model of the ship online, and it is like almost a city on top of the sphere with spires coming out the sides and then a dome underneath. It's really, hate to use this word, it's really alien, but super unique as well. And then the ship kind of comes super close to them and starts playing the tones. And they start repeating the tones because they don't know what else to do. And then there's kind of this, as I already kind of mentioned, this great musical sequence where the UFO's doing stuff and then the humans are trying to repeat it, and they're using their computers to do so as well because they can't even keep up. And it sounds great. It looks great with every tone. There's lights on the ship, and like Roy's laughing, Jillian's laughing. It's just this kind of amazing moment.
Oh, hey, Roy kisses Jillian,
This is, yeah.
and I thought to myself, man, dude, somebody shoot Roy in the head.
I figured you wouldn't like that part.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
I don't fully like it either.
I like loyalty.
I figure that's like not something you need. But then again, like I don't
Did
see
Steven
anything
Spielberg
romantic.
ever cheat on his wife?
Well, you can. How should I know? Did Steven Spielberg ever cheat on his wife? Um, no, it doesn't look like it. Anyways,
Wait,
I'm
wait,
not
wait,
gonna.
wait, wait. I found something else. Steven Spielberg resented his father for divorcing his mom, which influenced his early works of E.T. and Close Encounters. When Steven Spielberg was 16, he
Oh.
found out that his mother was having an affair.
Oh.
Mm, 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 mm.
So yeah, I guess you could read that Roy is in some sense his father, who leaves
Yeah,
his
but
children.
it's the mother's fault. God dang it. Whatever.
Well,
Steven Spielberg, the mama's boy.
He was mad as his. Yeah, anyways, I don't think you like because when I watch the film, I don't see them having a romantic relationship.
I
Um,
thought it felt kind of romantic, but like in a weird kind of way.
yeah, I don't really like gather it, and I would rather they not do that. But whatever, it is what it is. It is something I don't care for, but it's a small thing, and it could be read as just like farewell in a sense, which is still weird. But anyways, we finish our musical sequence, and the ship opens up. And who do we see but the pilots from the planes that were found at the beginning of the movie?
Oh,
And they
baby.
walk out, and they're pretty disoriented, and they're the same age as when they were taken, which kind of just more speaks to the strangeness of these aliens and how they don't really obey the laws of time or the universe, which again is something very 2001 esque. And then the sailors come out, and then they're all kind of checking them off. All these people have disappeared, and Barry comes out, and he seems pretty chill, you know.
He's like, they gave me candy in there.
Yeah, he's smiling. He's pretty happy. um, and Lacombe talks to Roy a second time, and he's basically like hinting that he wants Roy to be the one to go. And so some guy takes Roy to go get ready. It isn't something else I wanted to mention. Like, there's not that much dialogue through the last 30 minutes of the film, and obviously, there's a decent amount. It's not like there's none, but a lot of it is kind of focused on the awe of this moment and focused on the music and that kind of stuff. But this guy takes Roy and he goes and gets suited up to head out with the aliens. Sorry, wait. Does the first alien come out before this or not?
No, the aliens, I believe, don't come out until yeah, I believe they don't come out until
Well, because we see like three types of aliens.
Do we? I thought we only saw two.
No, there's the big lanky guy, kind of stretches his arms out.
I thought he was the. I thought they just messed up the proportions while filming. I thought he was the same guy.
No, he's different. He was like he's. See, because he's a puppet. It's really cool, actually. He's a puppet. The third one is claymation, and then the other ones are just people in suits. So it's kind of interesting how they created them, and they are intended to be like different species or different types of aliens, and that's like once again something else not explained, but
Wait. So
something interesting.
the tall, okay, the tall lanky one that walks out of the ship. That's claymation.
No, the one at the end who walks out of the ship is claymation.
Okay, but that's the same guy who raises his hand. That's the same dude. So
Yeah,
my
but there's
my my understanding was there were the little dudes in the suits. Those were suit guys. And then there was the
Yeah.
tall lanky guy who walks out at the end to say what's up. And he's
There's-
like the leader kind of guy. And then
Yeah,
he
there's a-
raises his hand and makes the signals with his
there's a
hand.
taller, lankier guy.
No, but that's the same dude.
I don't believe it is.
I think they're the same dude. Comments, let us know.
I'm pretty sure. I believe they were made as three separate ones, especially like I, especially because they just look completely different. But I mean, it's possible. But yeah, there's a big, tall, lanky guy who, whether you believe he's the same as the one at the end or not, is up to you. I'm pretty sure he's different because his arms are way longer. But anyways, Roy gets suited up and he's kind of with the group of basically astronauts ready to go. Um, and they come out. There's a bunch of other aliens who are like they're super tiny, and these are kind of the Zeta Reticulum Greys design that's kind of common in pop culture. But there's a bunch of them who are pretty small, and Roy's suited up, and there's a bunch of other pilots, and they're like looking super professional, and in their sunglasses and such, and he's just kind of there and smiling, and they pick him and only him to come with them. So that's why I would say what they were doing, inviting people, was to take someone with them,
Gotcha.
possibly take all of them with them, but they wanted that one guy, and it's almost as if because he had the creative vision with the other interpretation that he's the one who's rewarded, and he heads off to go be with the aliens, and then once he's in the ship and he kind of waves bye to Jillian and I think waves bye to Jillian and Lacombe. Yeah, Lacombe like nods to him, like he understands, he gets it. And then another alien comes out, and this is a taller one than the ones who just brought Roy in. And this is Lacombe's big moment of contact where he does the hand signals for the five tones and smiles, and then the alien repeats it and smiles as well, and then leaves. And then we see Lance Henriksen there for some reason, because him and Carl Weathers are in this movie. Thanks, James, for emailing me.
Oh, hey, I know this guy. He's an aliens.
Well, we're recording. Yes, that's who it is. And the ship floats up, and we hear like "When You Wish Upon a Star," that kind of motif.
Oh, they were
And,
doing.
it ends.
Let's see. They were whistling the weird guys at the very beginning. The guy that I was like, that freak.
Yeah.
He was whistling. She'll be coming round the mountain when
Oh,
she
yeah.
comes. And I
was
don't know.
fun.
Yeah, just like interesting.
And that's it. And the ship takes off with Roy. Peak.
The guy who plays the cartographer slash interpreter. He I recognized him as I was watching it, and I was like, who the frick is that dude? And then I was like, oh, he is from Seinfeld.
Really?
Yeah, he's the CBS producer in Seinfeld. And I just thought that was
didn't know that.
interesting.
Very interesting. But yeah, that's the movie. Any thoughts?
I think I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
Any other thoughts?
No, that's pretty much it. I think this may be our longest episode.
Well, I was yapping. I was
Bro was-
interpreting. I was
Maybe our most quality episode. Just
I
kidding.
was speaking.
Nothing beats the jokes we made in ET.
I was doing some stuff. But yeah, this is one of my favorite movies. I do read it as about, creating art and the difficulties in that, but the kind of reward in a sense of obsession and sometimes sacrifices, which, you could read as a bad thing, but it is an interesting perspective. So yeah, and I love the music, the visuals. It's just I would say a great film.
In seeing this movie, how do you think do whatever day is gonna
Disclosure
play out?
Day.
Disclosure Day.
I don't.
I
know.
feel like that's vaguely really close to Independence Day. Disclosure Day.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it has the same word in it. I guess that's. I guess.
Should we do a lot of alien movies and prep for this?
Yeah, it comes out in like 4 days. Or something.
Oh shoot, we gotta lock in. All right, well, what do we gotta do? War of the Worlds. We'll get that done
Well,
as soon as we
we will
can.
be reviewing War of the Worlds at some point this week, hopefully, at the time of recording.
I'm gonna
In
get
prep
that.
for Spielberg's Disclosure Day, which I'm really looking forward to. I think the one of the best parts about it, and it's not even out yet, is the Spielberg press tour. Because man, he's just obviously really passionate about films, and it's great because people are asking him about his older Alien movies, and he's talking about them as well, including Close Encounters.
What
So
if
it's just
what if Close
it's just great.
Encounters is like a prequel to ET, right? And what they do to the guy when he goes in there, they turn Roy into ET.
Don't speak to me ever again.
This has been Amateur Hour. Thanks for listening. Hopefully you got some work done. Maybe you did several loads of dishes. Maybe you fell asleep. Thanks for listening. Glad we were able to help you with that. Again, this is the podcast where amateur filmmakers review movies and determine whether the guys that made them were amateurs or not. Steven Spielberg's only an amateur sometimes.
Is that what we do?
Kind of. That was the original vision. I think we kind of lost it, but
Oh,
anyway.
no one told me this.
Yeah, I did, bro.
Do, 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 do.
Not even close. You were doing the Jeopardy theme. That was full on Jeopardy theme. Anyway, we'll catch you next time.
Bye.